So let's talk about right-wing men dating trans women, or you could say sexually attracted to trans women. So let me just say that when it comes to this topic, it's obviously something I really wanted to touch upon for some time now. And I know that some people have their strong opinions on this. For me, I'm sure you guys can easily assume my opinions just by looking at my username. So here's the thing, I have no problem with right-wing men dating trans women. Obviously, if I hear someone on the right wants to date a trans woman, it's not so surprising. Maybe once upon a time it was, but it's not uber surprising. And then you find out that there are quite a lot of individuals on the right that are interested in trans women. So that's pretty interesting to point out. And also, I want to add this. I have been treated quite well on this side, and this is interesting because, yes, there are people out there who get mistreated, which is unfortunate, but I've had a lot of positive comments coming from right wingers, conservatives. Sure, you would get like one or two negative comments, but there were a lot more positive comments that easily outweighs those negative ones. So yeah, a lot of people who are subscribed to me who so happen to be conservative, they don't have an issue with me existing. So there's that. Anyways, getting back to the relationship side of things, it's totally fine to date a trans woman. Now, you will come across individuals on the right who really hate trans women, but then they secretly like trans women. That's a funny thing. A great example of this. I don't know the full story of this, but apparently Nick Fuentes, the dude, was caught watching T-girl porn, which, it makes me wonder, are you interested in trans women? Are you interested also in femboys? Because for a while Nick had a thing with a femboy, so I wonder. Also, years ago, some of his subscribers, fans, I don't know, this was years ago, um, him and his subscribers, they they stormed a a website, or was it a little chat room? I can't remember exactly, but um, they were basically going into this chat room because of this trans woman, and I forgot her name. I think she detransitioned or retransitioned. I don't know the full story on that, but they were so hyped about this based trans woman. So yeah, I don't know, Nick. I don't know, but here's the funny thing. I'm also coming across a lot of right-wing trans women now, which is interesting because years ago, there used to be like a handful of us, and now there's like 20 handfuls. It's not that much, but when you really think about it, it's a lot because we don't have a lot of trans women on this side. So yeah, it does look really, really interesting. Anyways, I want to touch upon this article from Pink News. Now you may be wondering, why am I using Pink News? Well, it's because okay, I don't check Pink News all the time, but when it comes to finding news, I like to also check different sources and not just the same usual source. It's comforting to go to certain sources I like for certain things, but sometimes it's still good to check out the other sources. I've been doing this for years, and it's pretty fun, really. Okay, so I'm going to botch a name by mistake. Sorry about that. Laverne Cox on Dating MAGA Corp. A lot of people will never forgive me. Laverne Cox has revealed why she ended her relationship with a MAGA Republican police officer boyfriend after more than 3 years together. Some of you guys may remember this news years ago, and I remember being astonished by this. I was like, what? No freaking way. So I'm just gonna, it's a pretty short article, so I'm just gonna swiftly read it. Speaking on The View on Monday, 8 June, the actress said she had come to see a partner clearly over time. The political affiliation became obvious, but I already had feelings for him, and I wanted to see him as a human being beyond that, she said. And then his politics and his unexamined life became clear after the 3.5 years, and I was like, I love him, but I love myself more, and staying in this relationship, I'll betray myself. In June 2025, Cox received significant criticism from fans after revealing she had been in a relationship with a blonde-haired, blue-eyed MAGA Republican voter who is a New York City police officer. At the time, she said they had dated for 5 years before breaking up the year before. Okay. Speaking on the podcast Fears, and she recalled the reaction. I lost followers last year when I disclosed that my ex-boyfriend was MAGA, she said. He was a MAGA Republican cop. Ironically, I had a no dating a cop policy before my ex, and he told me he was in commercial real estate. Cox said she knew nothing about his politics when they began dating. I thought the conversation would be about how two people who have totally different politics find a way to make it work or not, and the connection that actually exists beyond politics, the soul connection, she said. She continued, a lot of people will never forgive me because they were like, you should have taken that to your grave. You slept with the enemy, she said. I think people are complicated. We would get into more political conversations, and I actually liked having them with me. Okay, so yeah, that's about it for the article. I just want to say it's interesting. I have, I have, as I said before, no problem with people dating, right wingers and stuff like that. It's normal, for me. So it's like, okay, I know for some people it's going to be astonishing, but maybe in a few years' time it'll be a bit more normal. Recently the news broke that Chud the Builder, who I don't know that much about, but this dude who got arrested recently, this dude was in a relationship last year with a trans woman. That's interesting, So you do have individuals on the right who, are ready to sword fights, if you know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, so it's just a normal thing for me, and it will get more normal as time flows. Um, it just depends on how people react. That's about it. So yeah. Anyways, tell me your opinion on this. This is going to be really interesting. Um, anyways, bye.